You know, when is my body gonna be ready to go into labor? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or actually welcome back to our channel. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we have officially changed the name to the Haaksma fam. So what that means is we are going to be posting a lot more content as a family. Don't worry, I'm still going to be posting my sit down videos, but we just want to get more family oriented. Anyways, you guys clicked on this video to get an update of my pregnancy, of being 40 weeks, third trimester, whatever. The end of pregnancy, you guys are here for it, and I'm about to give you the tea. Basically, your girl is 40 weeks and 5 days as of today. I am overdue. Baby is in there like being cooked extra well done. I'm really tired. I just have no energy for anything really, and as you guys can tell, I sound like I have a cold. I'm getting over having a cold, so that was fun. Anyways, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe, join the Haaksma fam, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get into the video of the end of pregnancy. I'm gonna start from the beginning of my third trimester. So you guys know my first and even going into my second trimester was pretty rough. I had very low energy. I even mentioned that I had some depression. It was not fun. Pregnancy was pretty rough. And going into my third, I got this like burst of energy. I started feeling more like myself. I was feeling good, looking good. I got the glow, the hair, the skin was good, the nails were growing, like everything was going good. And then I just like, it just peaked up for a little bit and then it just went down. I left work the first week of August. And I was working less and less days because I couldn't be on my feet too long and I couldn't sit down too long. Like, they gave me a chair so I can like rest, and it's just like I didn't feel comfortable being on my feet, sitting down. Like, I started getting Braxton Hicks contractions starting at like 34 to 36 weeks, and it was like once a week I was getting them. So I was very positive that I was going to give birth early. My first cervical check was at 36 weeks, I think. Doctor checks me and I'm not dilated, not effaced, baby is still high up, and he's just like, that's fine, just expect to drop within the next week or two, the latest. So as you guys may or may not know, I am attempting to have a successful VBAC. And if you don't know what a VBAC is, it is a vaginal birth after cesarean. So I did have a C-section done with my first. It wasn't like a major, like I really needed a C-section. Honestly, if you guys haven't watched my labor and delivery story of Aleiya, go and watch it and you'll understand why I became a good candidate for a VBAC. Basically, long story short, I was able to dilate up to 10 centimeters. I was able to push. The doctor just gave me a very short time frame to push. He had to go on vacation that night and was just trying to speed things up. He got what he wanted and left me with a scar, a lovely scar. So when I came into this pregnancy, the first 2 times I brought up VBAC, it was just like a flat out, no, it's impossible. Third time, like I brought it to his face, like, look, dude, like I'm capable of dilating fully. I'm capable of pushing. It was under your circumstances. It was convenient for you, which is why I got a C-section done. He understood, and I think he like feels bad because now he is so supportive and so on board. But there has been some sketchy things, and let me fill y'all in on this tea. But let me go back to 36 weeks. Since I'm trying to have a VBAC, he wanted me, after that cervical check, that first cervical check, he wanted me to go to get an ultrasound done because he wants to see the size of the baby. Since Aleiya was over 9 pounds, he wants to make sure that this baby isn't going to be another big baby, because if it is, it's like might as well just get the C-section done, get it over with, have your baby in August, because technically September 1st is like a cutoff for the school, like kindergarten, like you have to be 4 years old by September 1st. If you're after, you have to wait a whole another year. So he's like, let's just check the size of the baby so you don't go past your due date and you don't go past the school's date, things of that sort. So he was really pushy towards that, and I was just like, you know what, yeah, he's right. I don't want my baby to miss out on a whole year. So at 38 weeks, I went, got the ultrasound done. Baby was estimated measuring around 6 pounds and like 10 ounces, something like that. And from what they told me is that baby grows half a pound each week. So if I was 38 weeks and measuring 6 pounds, 10 ounces, by the time I give birth, I should have around a 7.5 pound baby, no more than 8, right? Which is good. So my 38 week checkup, though, he does another cervical check. Baby's still high up, not dilated, not effaced, nothing. And he's just like, ooh, baby, you should have dropped by now. I'm worried because I saw the size of the baby on the ultrasound. It looks great, but your amniotic fluid levels are a little low, and I'm worried about that because if there's not enough amniotic fluid in there for the baby, then we got to take this baby out because baby cannot survive if there's no amniotic fluid. He said, as of now, it's just low and it worries me. 39 weeks comes around and he tells me, okay, you are still not dilated, but you're starting to, like maybe like a 0.5 centimeter, if that, like you're starting to. Your baby is still high up, you're still pretty thick in your cervix, but I can feel baby's head. So her head is already positioned low and she's ready. It's just you got to start dilating and progressing. So come 40 weeks, my due date, and he's just like, okay, you're fingertip dilated now at this point. You're about 10% effaced of your cervix thinning out, and the head is very low, like I could feel the head right there. So my guess is maybe baby is just very long because I do still feel very high up. I mean, like if you guys can see, like I feel like she has dropped very little though. But for the most part, she's still pretty high up. I think she's probably just gonna be a really long baby because I do feel her head like right on my cervix. My due date actually fell on Monday, September 2nd. That already like passes August. And I was so set in stone on not having a C-section. My C-section was actually supposed to be August 27th, right? And I'm glad I didn't do it, and I know my baby is now going to miss out on a whole year, but I'd rather my body go naturally on its own, not forced, not being cut. It just makes sense that way. Let's see, the weekend, Labor Day weekend, I felt flu-like symptoms. I started getting aches and chills, and I felt hot and then cold, like these hot flashes. I didn't have a fever, but I was feeling everything like flu-like symptoms. So I call the doctor and I wanted to know, is this like a possible like going into labor symptom or something? He's just like, no, you probably just caught something. And I'm just like, oh, well, that's great. If you guys have stuck around from the beginning, you guys know that I got sick right before I found out I was pregnant. And that was the last time I've been sick, like really badly sick. And up until now, I'm just like, oh my God, what if I'm like getting really badly sick because I'm about to like have the baby or something? Like, I don't know. I never get sick. So when I do, it's like, okay, something's up. My body's freaking out. He's like, hopefully you go into labor this weekend, tonight, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was so still pushy about August. So September 1st, Sunday, still nothing. My appointment rolls around to Tuesday. I told you guys, he did my cervical check. I was fingertip, 10% effaced. And now at this point, he tells me that he was retiring in August, which I already knew. And I thought I was actually going to be one of his last patients for the month of August, which is why I low-key think he was really trying to push for a C-section, or at least hoping that I would go into labor on my own by then. So he's technically retiring in December, but he is retiring from delivering babies in August. He was just going to be doing like pap smears, hysterectomies and other like surgeries, tubes tied and stuff like that up until December, and then that's it. He's retiring. He made the decision this weekend that, you know what, I still have a lot of women that are due in October and November. He's like, I'm gonna be here till December. I might as well finish my job and deliver these babies. So he made the decision he's going to continue delivering up until December. That is why I feel like he's been a lot more on board with me now with my VBAC, because he's like, well, I don't have to rush to get this baby out in August. It's like, whatever. Then he also tells me that I am his only patient for the month of September. He says he has a few in October, a few in November, but I am the only one that is due in September. So he's like, it's gonna be a long month. I don't really have much to do. I'm just waiting on you. And he feels that there is no need to have a C-section. Just let me go on my own. And I'm grateful for that. I really am. But I also feel like he was really trying to play me again. It's working out in my favor. Now, the only thing is I'm 5 days overdue. And it could be very well much I deliver next week. He doesn't obviously want me to go past 42 weeks. We've already discussed that. No woman can go past 42 weeks. Unfortunately for me, I cannot get induced since I've already had a C-section and I'm at risk for a uterine rupture. Next option would have to be a mandatory repeat C-section. And that is worst case scenario, I do not deliver by 42 weeks. So today is actually Friday, September 6th. My next appointment is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I don't know what day that is. But Tuesday is my next appointment. I will be 41 weeks. And from there, we will see how much I have progressed. And from there, we will discuss a possible C-section. He calls me yesterday to tell me, checking on me how I'm doing. Still pregnant, still no baby. And he wanted to tell me that the head honcho at the hospital found out that I'm going to be a VBAC, right? Or I'm attempting to have a VBAC. So that hospital is not a very VBAC friendly hospital unless the doctor is on board. So what he told the doctor, my doctor, is if she's going to have a VBAC, you have to be here in the hospital. And if I go into labor while he's in his office, which is 15 minutes away from the hospital, I'm just going to go with the on-call doctor and they're going to put me straight into a C-section. And he's just like, I'm telling you, please try, if you do go into labor, try and go at night or on the weekend. And he's like, I know you can't force yourself. He's like, but let's just hope that happens. And if, worst case, you do go while I'm during business hours, call me first so I can get to the hospital and I can be there by the time you have your VBAC or by the time you go in. That kind of worries me a little bit because it's like, now it's like, I don't know when the hell I'm going to go in. When is my body going to be ready to go into labor? And I know that the further along I go, the bigger this baby's going to get, the higher the chances I could have another possible C-section. But there is so many women who can push out 9 and 10 pound babies. So I'm pretty sure if other women can do it, my body is capable of doing that as well. Women have been doing this for centuries, and I'm trying to think positive and manifest this into reality. I can do this. I will have a vaginal birth. I want to experience that because my first experience was very traumatizing. And I don't want to go through that again. I mean, if need be, then at least I won't be as shocked as I was the first time around. I'm prepared mentally, maybe not physically, but mentally I can prepare myself. But I'm very, very set that I am going to push this little sucker out. Please send me good vibes. Now, as far as symptoms, what I've been having for 40 weeks, even just this whole last month from 36 to 40 weeks, I have felt, it's like every week I feel more and more pressure down there, you know what I mean? Sometimes like if I'm standing up and I'm walking, I can feel as if like she's gonna fall out, and like I'm just holding her in, and it's such a ugly feeling. And there's times where it's very painful, like I have to stop, and there's times where I've even like almost wanted to cry. It's frustrating, you know, because it's like, is this it? And it's just like, oh, you know. I haven't had any contractions, Braxton Hicks contractions, since about maybe 36 to 37 weeks, but I have been experiencing mild, very light, mild cramping. But I can say as of 40 weeks, when I do cramp, it's a little more intense. I mean, it's still like, they still feel like period cramps, but nothing too crazy or painful, nothing consistent. It's just kind of like can something happen already? I have not, TMI, I have not lost my bloody show. I have lost bits and pieces of my mucus plug, but that's been going on for a month now. And it's just like, can something else happen? So it all depends on this girl. I have very little baby movement. She's pretty chill during the day, and at night she's just like yeah. And when she does move, it's so painful to the point where I just like, I want to cry, because I feel her pushing and her head is just like, hopefully I go tonight, shoot. When they tell you, oh, you're not dilated enough or whatever, it can sound discouraging, because trust me, I felt like I'm not progressing. But after reading tons of different women's, like, their advice, they're just like, dilating don't mean crap until you're in labor. That's the only time it means something. Women can be completely closed, very thick cervix, like 1 minute, and then the next, boom, they are in labor, and it happens. So I'm trying to keep it positive and hope that maybe I'm not dilated or progressing right now, but when I do, it's just like, boom, it happens quick, fast, and it happens, and it's just gets straight to the point, you know? Anyways, that is it for today's video. I just wanted to update you guys on my pregnancy, what I've been feeling, what I've been going through, my doctor. If you guys are towards the end of your pregnancy as well, please let me know some of your symptoms, what you've been feeling, what you've been going through. How have you progressed? Have you had your baby already, or are you late like me? Let me know. I love reading y'all's comments. And any advice, you know, go ahead and throw it down there too. I've tried everything in the book except castor oil. My doctor actually recommended castor oil, and I'm just like, hell no. But I'm still sipping on raspberry leaf tea to help my uterus get strong. I'm bouncing on the birth ball. I've been walking. I've been trying to stay active. I do squats. I'm going up and down the stairs. I've been cleaning the house. I've danced. Like, I've been doing a lot. The pineapple, the spicy food, that shit don't work. I mean, I've done it with Aleiya and it didn't work. And I've done it this pregnancy, it doesn't work. I think our bodies are just, when they're ready, and you can't really force it. So I'm trying to be pretty patient, even though it's hard. Thank you all so much for watching and for sticking around and listening to me rant about this journey. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.